Good evening, and welcome to Friday Film Reviews for September 2020. I'm Chris Bell from the Smithtown Library. Whether you miss the weekly movie programs at the Smithtown Library or you just want to watch some good films, join us each month for reviews of recommended movies that you can enjoy at home on Fridays or any day you choose using the library streaming services Hoopla and Canopy. If you aren't already using Hoopla and Canopy, I will tell you how to access them from the Smithtown Library homepage at the end of the program. The first movie this month is Driveways, which premiered at the Berlin International Film Festival in February 2019. The second feature film, directed by Andrew Ahn, Driveways stars veteran character actor Brian Dennehy, who has film, TV, and theater credits dating back to 1977. Sadly, this was one of his last performances as he passed away in April of this year. Driveways tells the story of a lonesome boy who accompanies his mother on a trip to clean out his late aunt's house and ends up forming an unexpected friendship with the retiree who lives next door. Cody is a sweet, sensitive boy who doesn't always fit in easily with other kids his age, but instead strikes up a friendship with Dell, a seemingly gruff Korean war vet who's been whiling away his days living alone, playing bingo at the VFW hall, and sitting out on his porch. Meanwhile, in the process of cleaning out the house, Cody's mother, Kathy, learns how much she didn't know about her estranged sister. Cody is an old soul who is happy to stay with Dell, reading on his porch or listening to his stories. When the kids he invited don't show up for Cody's birthday party at the roller rink, he is thrilled to celebrate with Dell's friends at the VFW instead. Dell also comes to enjoy his time with Cody. He speaks to him as an equal and opens up to him about his late wife, his daughter, and the regrets of his life. This is a lovely, character-driven film that you can watch on Hoopla. The next movie is a German-language film called Balloon. Balloon was produced in 2018 and released in the United States in February 2020. It was directed by a German actor and director named Michael Herbig. This is the third feature film directed by Herbig, who had previously worked mostly in television. The movie is well cast with German actors, whose names I will not try to pronounce. Balloon is based on the true story of two East German families who attempted the impossible in the summer of 1979. In a makeshift hot air balloon, they risked their lives and flew toward West Germany with hopes of freedom and a better life. Unfortunately, the balloon crash-landed just before they reached the West German border, and the Stasi, the East German secret police, soon discovered evidence of the attempted escape. In a nerve-wracking race against the clock, the two families must rush to build a new escape balloon before the notorious Stasi can catch them. Peter Strelzik and Günter Wetzel were co-workers who had been friends for 4 years. They shared a desire to flee the country and began discussing ways to cross the border along with their wives and a total of 4 children. In March of 1978, they began to set their plan in motion. They faced many difficulties, including how to purchase enough material without causing suspicion and sewing the entire balloon with a single sewing machine, as well as creating a basket large enough to hold them all and getting it to fly. Even if you think you know how the story will turn out, Balloon is a riveting film that literally had me on the edge of my seat from beginning to end. I highly recommend it. You can find Balloon on Canopy. Smoke Signals was released in 1998 and was directed by Chris Eyre. The screenplay was written by Sherman Alexie and was based on his own short story, The Lone Ranger and Tonto Fist Fight in Heaven. The movie stars Adam Beach and Evan Adams. Smoke Signals is the story of 2 very different young Native American men from the Coeur d'Alene Reservation in Idaho who go on a road trip together to bring back the ashes of a man who was important to them both. Thomas is the storyteller whose parents died in a fire in 1976. Only an infant at the time, Thomas was rescued from that fire by Arnold, who later left his wife and his own son, Victor. In contrast to Thomas, Victor is the stoic warrior. When Victor hears that Arnold has died after not seeing him for 10 years, Thomas offers to fund the trip to get Arnold's remains, but only if Thomas can also go with him. And so, Thomas and Victor hit the road. Moving between the past and the present, the movie balances the dramatic story of Victor's quest to make peace with the memory of his father and humorous moments, including interactions between Thomas and Victor, a car that only drives backwards, and the traffic and weather reports as broadcast on the reservation radio station KREZ. This is a warm and big-hearted film that you can watch on Hoopla. Mrs. Lowry and Son is a British film that was released in 2019. It was directed by Adrian Noble, who has worked primarily in theater, most notably as the artistic director of the Royal Shakespeare Company from 1990 to 2003. Mrs. Lowry is played by Vanessa Redgrave, whose long career includes the movie Mrs. Dalloway and more recently the PBS series Call the Midwife. Timothy Spall also played another English artist, J.M.W. Turner, in the 2014 film Mr. Turner. But to Harry Potter fans, he is best known for the role of Wormtail. The beloved British artist L.S. Lowry lived all his life with his overbearing mother Elizabeth. Bedridden and bitter, Elizabeth actively tried to dissuade her bachelor son from pursuing his artistic ambitions, while never failing to voice her opinion at what a disappointment he was to her. Despite her constant criticism and belittlement, he attended to her with great care and patience until her death in 1939. Lawrence Stephen Lowry, called Lowry by his mother, lived from 1887 to 1976. While he made his living as a rent collector, his nights were devoted to his art. Lowry is famous for painting scenes of life in the industrial districts of northwest England in the mid-20th century. He developed a distinctive style of painting and is best known for his urban landscapes peopled with human figures often referred to as matchstick men. In 1953, he was appointed official artist at the coronation of Queen Elizabeth II. In the climactic scene of the movie, he tells his mother that everything he painted was for her. This is borne out by the fact that when he was offered a knighthood in 1968, he refused by saying, quote, "There seemed little point once mother was dead," unquote. But despite his devotion to her, he never gave up painting the subjects that she disapproved of, the industrial North where she was ashamed to live. If you would like to watch Mrs. Lowry and Son, you can find it on Canopy. The last film for this month is the documentary A Tuba to Cuba, which was released in 2018 and was an official selection at the South by Southwest Film Festival. The movie was co-directed by relative newcomer T.G. Harrington and Danny Clinch, who is known for directing music videos and short films. A Tuba to Cuba features Ben Jaffe and the other members of the Preservation Hall Jazz Band. The movie tells the story of how Ben Jaffe, the leader of New Orleans' famed Preservation Hall Jazz Band, seeks to fulfill his late father's dream of retracing their musical roots to the shores of Cuba in search of the indigenous music that gave birth to New Orleans jazz. Encounters with some of Cuba's most iconic musicians leads to spontaneous and soulful collaborations. Unlike most other jazz ensembles, the tuba has always been part of New Orleans jazz. One of the traditions was decorating the bell of the horn with the name of the band, which is related to the practice of painting and decorating the bass drum. Throughout the film, we watch as Ben painstakingly applies tape to his tuba while he tells the story of the band and their journey. Preservation Hall Jazz Band was founded by tuba player Alan Jaffe in the early 1960s and was named for Preservation Hall, located on St. Peter's Street in the heart of the French Quarter. Although illegal, Preservation Hall was one of the few places that was open to blacks and whites in the Jim Crow South. Alan Jaffe died in 1987 at the age of 51, and his son Ben became the artistic director in 1993. Ben also toured with the band, playing double bass and tuba. Today, the Preservation Hall venue presents intimate, acoustic New Orleans jazz concerts over 350 nights a year, featuring ensembles from a current collective of more than 50 local master practitioners. On any given night, audiences bear joyful witness to the evolution of this venerable and living tradition. New Orleans is the place where jazz was born, but Ben Jaffe believes that to understand the history of New Orleans jazz, it is necessary to understand the impact of Cuba's history and culture on the music. The roots of American jazz are firmly planted in Cuba. One of the Cuban musicians speaks of the importance of music in Cuban culture. Quote, "The music unites people and souls, gives love, cleanses the spirit. Music is everything." Unquote. He went on to tell a story from the slave days of their history. Quote, "The masters wouldn't allow the slaves to play drums, so what did they do? They made furniture. The furniture was made to look like something you would sit on, but their real purpose was to make sounds. They were drums." Unquote. Most of the Cubans speak little English and the Americans speak little Spanish, but a tuba to Cuba celebrates the triumph of the human spirit expressed through the universal language of music. You can watch a tuba to Cuba on Hoopla or Canopy, and you can also listen to the soundtrack on Hoopla. If you need to download Hoopla and Canopy, go to the library's website at www.smithlib.org, click on Digital Library, and then select Movies and TV. There are links for the Hoopla and Canopy apps, as well as printable instructions and video tutorials. And of course, if you need further assistance, please call us at 631-360-2480, and we will be happy to help you. Thank you for joining me today. We hope to see you soon. Please continue to visit the library's website at www.smithlib.org for more programs and resources.